We are at Posthuset in Stockholm for the 2023 BioStock Investor Meeting, and I'm joined by Annexin CEO Anders Haegerstrand. Welcome, Anders.
Thank you so much.
It's good to have you here. So, Annexin, what is your vision for the company?
Well, it's a company which is working with a mimic of a naturally occurring protein. The protein is called Annexin A5, and we're mimicking it. When we produce it, we call it ANXV. And the vision is that we will develop that molecule up until at least phase 2 proof of concept type trials, type data in patients, and then work mainly with partnering.
Mm-hmm. And your main indication is retinal vein occlusion. It's not a super well-known disease, but it's quite common. Could you tell us more about the medical need here?
Well, the patients get a occlusion back in the eye, in the veins. They become partially or fully blind. Mm-hmm. Currently, they are treated with a drug called anti-VEGF, which basically takes away the swelling, which is a consequence of the disease. Mm-hmm. NXV can actually treat the cause of the disease and have many other effects on the eye. Mm-hmm. So the medical need is huge. These patients currently need to come back to the eye doctor and get injections maybe every 4th week, every 6 weeks, maybe for years. Mm-hmm. And we hope to take away that need for repeated injections, rather attack the cause of the disease and have other mechanisms that will help the patient.
Mm-hmm. Well, you mentioned the fact that you are in phase 2, but you've made some changes to the study design. Is that correct?
Yes, for actually quite exciting reasons. We had a placebo-controlled trial in the US, which is still ongoing. We had some findings where doctors reported that some patients that were treated, we didn't know whether they were active or placebo, had less need, or actually basically no need of continued anti-VEGF treatment, which you would expect. So we decided to have a review committee to evaluate the data that we had, including these findings. And they basically told us that, well, you should unmask or unblind the study and look at are these effects that you see where patients don't need anti-VEGFs caused by Annexin A5 or NXV or not. And there's some other findings as well that suggest that there's an effect. And we call them effect signals. And therefore, we changed the study design. We're working now with an open label study where all patients will get NXV, so we can follow them individually as time goes by, and we will be able to report the findings on a rolling basis. So it makes a huge difference.
Well, we talked about RVO as the main indication, but you're also looking at cancer as an indication. Well, what's the overall potential here for your candidate?
Well, I would say that NXV has huge potential in so many different indications, in inflammatory disease, in the bowel, elsewhere, even in viral disease. But we choose cancer for a reason. That's because there's so many papers published in literature, not by us, but from scientists all over the world, suggesting that Annexin A5's target is called PS. It's a phosphatidylserine. It's used by cancer cells to escape the immune system, escape being attacked and removed. And that was something we could not just sit and watch happening. Mm-hmm. So we felt that we should do something about it. The vision there is that we can treat cancer patients with NXV alone. We can use the fact that Annexin may be suitable, or is partially proven suitable already, to bring chemotherapy drugs to the cancer. So we can create a new molecule, Annexin 5, carrying a chemotherapy drug to the patient. Mm-hmm. And in the long term, there's a theranostic opportunity where you can use imaging technology to diagnose patients that do have tumors that can be treated with Annexin. You can treat them, and then you can follow up and see if the effect has been there.
Okay. What's your outlook in terms of partnerships within RVO?
There's a lot of focus on partnerships right now. I mean, when you speak to partners, they would say typically, this is very interesting, you have a new mechanism of action, but we want clinical data. And now we have some clinical data, which I think is very important. So we're intensifying partnering discussions right now. As for the cancer program, I would say that's more of a platform program. It has different kind of opportunities, and we're seeking partners there as well. But I think they will probably ask us to get some clinical data first. We'll see. Mm-hmm.
Well, finally, if we look into the crystal ball, what are some milestones that you foresee for Annexin in the coming months?
Well, it would be that we can confirm the findings that we already have in terms of reduced anti-VEGF need, that we can confirm that maybe we have, with the higher dose that we're now going to start testing, that maybe we have better effects even during the treatment with Annexin A5, or NXV, I should say. And I mean, I cannot promise any partnering, obviously, but we will work on that, of course. And then we will work on what we call the NXV conjugates in cell and animal experiments, where we show that the Annexin A5 and NXV carrying chemotherapy drug to cells and to cancer models in animals will actually kill the cancer. And that's what we can hope for.
Okay, so a lot going on for sure. Well, thank you so much for coming to the event today, and we wish you all the best for your coming work.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.